Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another live stream of Hearthstone. So we're trying something different today. Didn't really succeed, I don't think, and we'll see if it turned into a horrible nightmare. Nightbot has the option to do an auto DJ list, and so I just left the video streaming, desperately trying to see different ways to keep the stream length go longer so more people will pop into this. Clearly, what I have taken over since what I've learned since starting the stream, and I bet the rules have changed several times while I was streaming. The longer I go, the more people chat, the more people get suggested the videos. I was getting good amounts, 50 people on average on live streams for a while there, and now it's kind of backslid into barely 10 people, and it's a lot of the same people over and over again. I think there was a major effect with Loki, if I'm gonna just be honest. Loki loved to chat and talk. Red Phoenix is pretty good about it too, but he doesn't quite comment as much as Loki was doing, and I think that was getting a lot of views too, and Loki has stopped following my streams or watching them or commenting on them. I don't know why, particularly. So without that one very talkative chatter, videos haven't been going well as I would like. They're not going in the right direction. So I had the music playing just full screen and letting people listen to music, and that didn't really work either. Or at least it didn't seem like it. I've also dropped the ball here. And probably not traded out cards well. So I need to play some Druid cards and win 2 games with Paladin or whatever. Yeah. Let's just hop into a game. I'm a little scatterbrained. Today's been a weird day. The only reason I even tried the music chat is because people asked me to do something with them, and then I did it, and I guess I misinterpreted how big of a deal it was, really, but whatever. So I've got some new cards. Not that that's really going to change the level of the playability on this European deck. We're on the European account, I should point that out. We've got a lot of news to cover, and I think we're just going to keep going until we get everything done on this Friday. Even if nobody is watching, like, we may very well go into a silent gameplay. And I know people hate the silent thing, or they've certainly told me they hate the vocal people have said they hate the silent play. But on the other hand, because of their passionate hate of the silent gameplay, that gets people to be vocal, and
if you make a wild deck, you can only use it in wild.
That might just be what is necessary. So let's fill this up with Druid cards and get this part done at least. I still have some things to do on the America server, but I'll get a little bit more done playing the European server and the Asian server right now. So I'm not really giving priority to the America server as much as one might think I should. Let's just get into a game and then start talking about the news. And it wouldn't even be surprised if the news kind of falls apart too. But let's get into it. Let's see. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux is put out a trailer. Let's see. It's due out for the 3DS on October 26th in Japan and early 2018 in North America and Europe. Let's watch that trailer. And when I mean let's watch that trailer, I mean me watch the trailer, and I'll tell everybody else what I see. One of the things about letting Nightbot, my auto moderator, just run the auto DJ is that the one person that did come on there, immediately request Smash Mouth by All Star by Smash Mouth, which is a clearly copyrighted song, and it immediately gave him something different from what he was expecting. But it's also putting out video when I put it full screen, so not only am I getting the video of potentially other people's YouTube videos, I'm also getting audio. And I was kind of looking at the chat, but not looking at the screen or anything, so hardly adding much to it. I don't think there's an easy way to make a fair use argument in this instance. Let's see. Yeah, the Shin Megami Tensei game looks... Well, the trailer, like so many Japanese trailers, really is
Like
half or more just cutscene animations. And it's made by Atlas. I think it's a 2D platformer, though, maybe with a brawling aspect to it. Let's see.
For the wild.
Let's see. We've already covered the news that Mike Laidlaw is leaving BioWare. I wouldn't be surprised if BioWare gets completely shut down. Let's see. Destiny 2 Prestige Raid launched to go ahead without cheese fix. Destiny 2's delayed Prestige Raid mode will now launch without the exploit fix Bungie has been working on. The harder Prestige versions of... Let's see. Let's play Hearthstone for a second and then read this.
Job's done.
The harder prestige versions of the raid was originally scheduled to arrive this week, but was put back 7 days so they could fix an exploit. Now Bungie has said it cannot reliably patch the exploit in time, but doesn't want to delay the prestige raid any longer. Instead, they have found a middle ground, a way to verify players are using the exploit to ensure the fire team who finishes the prestige raid first is fairly determined. Watching them on Twitch, ? Whatever. So they want to put some prestige on a raid, but I don't understand this, because I thought Destiny, you always worked as teams. I don't think you fight anybody else. Maybe it's like a time related thing. I'm confused. Like, and this article's not doing anything to explain itself. Like, how are players rated against each other for doing this team-based activity of a team raid against AI bots? Man, the cards I picked are not good cards.
For the wild.
Let's just go ahead and heal ourselves and play the cards and move on.
Do you have the
So I guess the thing to take away from this article is that if you know the exploit that the people are talking about, don't use it on the prestige raid, but use it anywhere else until it gets fixed. And clearly they don't care too much about it. Wow. This is awful. I've got so many cards. Let's do this. And then let's do this. And then this. And then this. And then this. I'll just play all the cards. Here's a review of a game called The Invisible Hours. It's a VR murder mystery experiment inspired by immersion theater, but apparently the asking price is too high. Let's see if we can get a price and whether this is live action or animated. I think it's animated. So what's the price? It's only $30, so this must be a really short game for them to somebody to actually try and make the argument that $30 is too much. It is animated. It's not poorly animated as far as it looks. Maybe there's some lip sync issues. Let's see. Feels like maybe real theater actors were, you know, scanned into 3D characters with face capture. Let's see. The interface is pretty bad. How long is this game? That's the one factor I would use as a calculating point. Is, does this whole performance only last an hour? Even if it was only 2. Well, they're not telling me how long it takes to play. Man, you would hope that video game reviews would respond to that. Here we go. Red Phoenix came onto the chat. Turns out I have 15 minutes. I have a joke ready. Alright, what's your joke? Yeah, Red Phoenix. As we're trying other things. Trying to go through this news. And I had to read almost all of this article for the... You know what's really crazy? What's the name of this game? It's called The Invisible Hours. Let's see. Red Phoenix says, 2 people walk into the bar. The first says, I have a H2O. The second one says, I will have an H2O2. The second person dies. Okay. I've heard that one before. H2O2 being poisonous. Chemistry jokes. Moving on with the news. Cave announces a new project called codename 3JUS. And do we know anything else about it? There's a picture of a destroyed building with a cat or a dog in front of it. Just in front of this rubble. Let's see. Cave is the company that made Don Don Pachi and Death Smiles. So, no, I don't know Don Don Pachi, but I know Death Smiles is either a shooter or a fighter game. So, let's see what kind of, if they give any more hints on what this project would be. Honestly, it's probably not news. Not worth reporting news. To talk about a game that's just in its announcement phase and doesn't even have a name. Like, that is pretty pointless. And I'm really hating how they nerfed Innervate, but I guess everybody is. More advertisement for a game I think that's already out. Or is coming out. Fire Emblem Heroes is adding more characters. Games with a lot of characters, usually fighting games, have that high tendency to to very consistently just announce one character, then wait a week and announce another character and build up the hype train. Fire Emblem Heroes is still a little weird because it's sort of a Nintendo property, but it's not a Mario property, or really. Let's see, let's play this, I guess.
For the wild.
Just trying to play cards. I guess I could have done this. I should have done that first. See, Red Phoenix says the Dead Space number 7 looks a bit wrong. Thumbnail. Let me see if I can see what it looks like. Like, all of my thumbnails are just by default things, and even at that, sometimes YouTube doesn't like it when they are videos that were actually in the video that YouTube picked itself. And because YouTube's has this has its own automated thumbnail creation service that you only get like 3 options, and usually 2 of the options are not worth using. And so, like, my first Hearthstone stream got 6 views, and the other one, the live chat music, like, number 7 right now is labeled as not suitable. Interesting. Dead Space number 4, 5, 6, and 7 are labeled as not suitable. All the Dead Spaces then up to 17 are fine, and then they're labeled as not suitable again. And see, that's really where it gets down to. I just don't know what the rules are. I think probably it is suitable for all advertisements, but I would need 1,000 views in 7 days to request a review anyways. Okay, I see what you're saying here. Alright, we'll set it as a different thumbnail. And changing the thumbnails sometimes will get it re-triggered for not suitable for advertisement. But it will never undo a trigger for not suitable for advertisement, as far as I understand it. So changing the thumbnail arbitrarily or changing the title or anything is also not useful and not a smart move.
Spectacular.
Red Phoenix says, but only if you have a dirty mind. Okay. Well, I changed it. Apparently YouTube has a dirty mind, or their algorithm does. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just attack that, I guess.
Spectacular.
There's a 3-woman Italian developer group called Cosebelle, Cosebelle, who want to create a game called Selling Sunlight. It's on Kickstarter, so they're probably never gonna finish. They want $14,000 to make it, so that's not enough money. The catch-22 of any Kickstarter game is if you're actually gonna finish the product and make it a good game, you need to ask for millions, and if you ask for millions on Kickstarter, you won't get funded. It's a narrative-driven RPG starring a faceless wandering merchant. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So fake. Forget about that game. It's never going to be finished. You don't hear about a lot of Italian video game companies, but that's not hugely surprising either.
Spectacular.
Let's see, Dynasty Warriors 8 have some trailers for the Switch versions of the game, which more I guess if I was going to play a Dynasty Warriors game, I probably would want to play it on a portable console. Red Phoenix, I wonder who was the other person who was watching it. A few people were watching. Like I got 5 or 6 views. The weird thing is that for every one person that gets on the chat and talks, there's usually at least 3 other people that are just watching, and they don't want to get on the chat, they don't want to talk, but their views are just as valid as far as YouTube is concerned, even though their voices aren't getting heard because they're not chatting. And I have to always balance that out. So, like when Red Phoenix says you should go back to Hearthstone, I may have had, like, it could have been a scenario, it wasn't, but it could have been a scenario that there was hundreds of people or thousands of people enjoying the music playing, and yet there was only one person telling me to do something different, and he was just backseating driving pretty much. And so that's why I say no backseat driving. Like, clearly if I wanted to play Hearthstone, the live stream apparently didn't update. It was supposed to update the Hearthstone. But who would have surprised? I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
What to do?
Let's kill this guy. Do this. Do this. Do this. Yep. It didn't save. There you go. Now the title is correct. Red Phoenix is saying sub to me, sub to you. I think that is a violation of the rules too.
Another night on the
Then I put on the rules specifically, no, I won't sub to you.
Job's done.
I'm tired of people asking that. Like, so many people came on the chat early when I first started streaming saying sub to me and I'll sub to you, and I'm like, I don't care if I don't want one sub from somebody who is a YouTuber who won't ever have time to watch me and won't ever watch me again. And clearly, if somebody is wasting their time looking for live streams, like, to get people to sub to them, they're not making any content. I think Red Phoenix is just joking with me, though. Read the message before, and I'm already a sub. Says, let's be every person ever. Oh, he's pretending. He's joking, like what people say. Oh, I get it now.
Where shall I strike?
It's like, I'd much prefer people to go harass PewDiePie. Yeah, go find some of the famous, biggest streamers out there and tell them everybody should sub to Rydo. Go here. I'm spamming for this new streamer. Go get banned on PewDiePie's chat doing that. I don't even know if when PewDiePie streams he has the chat open. Moving on with the news, Swery The Good Life will head to Kickstarter after it failed on Fig. So Swery is very much insistent on trying to get The Good Life made. Fig had a quest for $1.5 million in funding. Like I was saying, the catch-22 of crowdfunding is if you want to make a real game, you need to ask for millions of dollars. The campaign only got $557,000, barely a third, or around that much. So now he's going to go to Kickstarter, and I imagine he's going to he's going to try to get even more money. I think inherently Swery is just too close to the store, to the game, and he's refusing to realize that it's not an interesting honestly, it's not an interesting premise. Like, you've got a life simulation game in a world where people turn into cats at night. That's just a little too much. And it's not selling itself well. And he's a little obsessed. And that's what creators sometimes do, is they get obsessed with their ideas, and they sometimes need people above them to tell them, no, go work on this project. Go work on something you're not passionate about. And then maybe after you think about your idea a little bit more, you can improve it, or maybe you'll come up with a better idea. A lot of creativity is about killing things you're in love with, ideas you're in love with, and moving on to the next thing, and realizing what will sell and what won't. Next story, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memories is going to have a Japanese limited edition, which comes with, it seems like, a visual art book and a soundtrack. Let's see. And then like another visual art book, I think. Honestly, if you were a big fan of Digimon, though, it is actually a quite nice limited edition. Japanese do know how to do their limited edition creations quite well. Better than the garbage you see for many games in the West, where it's just more money for terrible figurines that we don't care about, or like a mask or something. There's been some really, really awful, very expensive limited edition versions of physical releases of games. Moving on, there's a game called Kowloon's Gate VR Suzaku. Let's see, it's PlayStation VR experience due October 26th in Japan. Let's see what this game is, though, because it looks like it might be a musical experience or a horror experience, or I don't even know. Like, let's see, that trailer was worthless. Let's try to, there's two trailers here. With a name like, with Gate in the name, I'm assuming it's a horror game. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it looks like some kind of weird horror game. Let's see. The virtual reality experience will allow players to walk through the world's Kowloon walled city with a feeling of increased immersion thanks to the stereoscopic lens. So it's basically a walking simulator. The last thing we need is the Japanese getting into walking simulators. Man, I've still got so much news. So much news. There is a Kickstarter campaign launched to localize Order of Land for Switch, Xbox One, and PC. They're seeking a measly $44,000 US. The only problem here is that this game I've never heard of, and it doesn't look that good. So effectively this is a Japanese game that looks like an RPG Maker game that they're trying to get fans of potentially a game that isn't even popular, if I was to guess, to pay up front to localize it. I think this might be where something like the Kickstarter will really succeed in the fashion that it will tell people like this company that people don't really care enough. Like, honestly, if you were saying localize a big ticket game like God Eater 1 or 2 and do a better localization job, or do any kind of localization job on major, very popular, well-known outside of Japan series, that would make sense. But in this case, no, it's like they're asking a lot for something I've never even heard of, and it doesn't look that good. Moving on to the next piece of news, the Silver 2425 Japanese box art, which is the Silver Case collection. What is actually in the Silver Case collection? Let's see. It's being released in Japan because the remaster of the Silver Case was never released in Japan, so they're doing a weird thing. So they're kind of going in circles. They made a remaster in America. They never brought that remaster to Japan, so now they're doing a new collection version. And I imagine that collection will also come up. The Golden Joystick Awards happen. Let's see if there's what we can see. This is Game Radar that was reporting this. Best storyline options are Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier Automata, Night in the Woods, Persona 5, Prey, Pyre, Tacoma, Torment, Tides of Numeria, Uncharted, Lost Legacy, What Remains of Edith Finch. I don't believe I've played any of those games, and fortunately I can just click through these. Best visual design, Cuphead. Cuphead will clearly win that. Dishonored 2, Final Fantasy 15, GNOG, which is a small game, that will win. Horizon Zero Dawn kind of gives Cuphead a little bit of a challenge, but Cuphead's clearly going to win. Little Nightmares, Monument Valley, Night in the Woods, Persona 5, Pyre, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It seems like to be nominated, you just have to throw your name in the hat. Otherwise, some of these games would not be listed. Best Audio, Destiny 2, Hellblade: Sesuna's Sacrifice. Arguably, whatever you mean by audio, Hellblade's Susuna Sacrifice might deserve to win that, but it probably won't. Horizon Zero Dawn, like Horizon Zero Dawn really does probably deserve to win something, but will get knocked out of everything. Life is Strange Before the Storm, probably not worth, doesn't deserve to win anything. Little Nightmares doesn't really deserve to even be listed, I would bet. Persona 5, again. Project Cars 2, Pyre, Rhyme. Rhyme isn't gonna win anything. It was a nice effort, but it's gonna end up as a disappointment for the creators. It probably already is. There we go. One daily quest done. A lot more to do. So at this point, I need a paladin or priest victory. So we're gonna actually start playing for wins. So we go here, paladin victory. Sniper Elite 4, Tacoma, and Legend of Zelda, and that was for best audio.
Uther versus Anduin.
Best gaming performance
Shall bring victory.
would
I
be
will fight with honor.
interesting. So now it's asking you to name particular voice actors and characters in the game. I'm not sure how many people could really do that weren't in the industry. Ashley Birch, who played Alloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. Brian Bloom, who played BJ Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. I don't think that should be considered because that game isn't out yet. So,
For justice.
like it's
Well met.
it's unfair to ask people to even let people to vote for a game that's not out yet. He may win just for some crazy reasons. Claudia Black as Chloe Fraser in Uncharted. Let's see. Just go and play this. Do that. Frida Wolf, who played Ryder in Mass Effect. Do they play the female Ryder? I think. Because I think there's a male version too. Jack Brand, who played Jack Baker in Resident Evil 7. Couldn't even play a different name. I'm just joking, but that is always questionable when you have an actor that's the first name is always a Jack, because the real name is Jack. Kyle Brown, who plays Rachel Amber in Life is Strange Before the Storm. Again, Life is Strange probably doesn't deserve to win, but might. Melina Jorgens, who plays Susuna in Hellblade's Susuna Sacrifice. Arguably, she'll win, and again, I would argue she might not actually deserve it. Like, a lot of times you get down to this point where the themes or the just general love of a game causes the actors who didn't really do that great. And this is a really, really hard question to ask, is about did that actor perform well in the game when we don't have any clue whatsoever what the lines of dialogue were written for them. None of them are really ad-libbing, I bet. Or if they are ad-libbing, it's not a lot of ad-libbing.
For justice.
So there's probably tons of games that have terrible writing and good actors doing good performances with terrible writing. Next we have Nathan Fillion, who did Cade 6 and Destiny 2. Nathan Fillion might win. He's a real actor and not a video game voice actor, and I would be very upset if he won, because then you're just kowtowing to the big names. Like, And that's the problem in Hollywood in general is nobody ever gets a fair shot because everybody wants somebody else who's already popular to be the headliner. That's why we have people like Harrison Ford doing all the action movies for many decades, and it's been very difficult for anybody new to break into that industry. Next we have Best Indie Game, and the first game is Dream Daddy by the Game Grumps. I believe it's one of the persons that works for the Game Grumps in particular, and not as much a team effort, whatever that really means. I don't think Dream Daddy will win, but I bet there will be people that say it deserves. You have Everything, that game doesn't deserve to win. Friday the 13th, the game, that game doesn't deserve to win. Night in the Woods, I don't think so. Pyre, I don't think so. Slime Rancher, okay, arguably a game that does deserve to win. The only problem there is it was a little early access. I mean, when it came out of early access, it wasn't the longest or fulfilled game. Stories Untold, Tacoma's not going to win. Thimbleweed Park, and What Remains of Edith Finch. I think clearly in this category, above anything else, it's going to be a very close tie between Slime. It's going to be very close between What Remains of Edith Finch and Slime Rancher, and none of the other games are going to get enough votes. If I was picking, that's what I would do. And probably I would give it to What Remains of Edith Finch. Next we have Best Multiplayer Game, Absolver. I wish there was a giveaway award system like this every month. Honestly, it would give me more to talk about during the streams. So Best Multiplayer, we have Absolver, which that's not gonna win as a multiplayer game from that perspective. Battlefield 1, Destiny 2, FIFA 18, Friday the 13th, Injustice 2, Lawbreakers, Nidhogg 2, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, and Splatoon 2. I think you probably are guaranteed a victory for PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds in this instance. Like Splatoon 2 arguably might give it a little bit of competition, but Splatoon 2 had some problems, and while PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is still kind of early access, it's so beloved by so many people, it would be really dumb for it not to win. Studio of the Year. This is an awful category to even have. Like, you should not give Studio of the Year awards because you don't know any of the internals happening in the studio. It could be that every studio is at its throat and everybody hates everybody in the studio, and yet somehow they manage to make a great game. Or it could be that a studio is like Valve, where everybody's pretty happy with each other, but they don't make anything. There's not a direct connection enough for it to make sense. Let's see. So your options, my option here would be not vote, because this is an award that should not be given out. But and giving out awards like this might very well affect people's bonuses. So, like, people may get paid more by getting these dumb awards, or paid less because they didn't get these dumb awards, and that would be very unfair. We have Arcane Studios that did Dishonored 2 and Prey. Two games that didn't really succeed as much as I'm sure ZeniMax, their parent company, wanted them to. You have Boss Key Productions that made Lawbreakers. That game flopped, so I don't see any reason why they would win. Creative Assembly that did Halo Wars 2 and Total War Warhammer 2, which, okay, I doubt that. Guerrilla Games, Horizon Zero Dawn. Alright, that kind of makes sense. Machine Games that did Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Again, that game should not be allowed for consideration because it's not even out yet. NetherRealm Studios for Injustice 2, no. Ninja Theory for Hellblade: Season's Sacrifice. Again, I would argue that kind of there's some problems with Hellblade enough that I wouldn't give them Studio of the Year for it. The actual gameplay in Hellblade is kind of repetitive and boring. Nintendo EPD, which that's their in-house development, I suppose. That's the name of it. They did Legend of the Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Again, a game that's not out yet, so how can you fairly vote for a game that's not even in existence? The PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds Corporation, which was just recently created instead of Bluehole, the parent company for PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Clearly they don't deserve to be Studio of the Year, whatever that really even means. You have Platinum with Nier Automata. Arguably, I might give it to Nier Automata, but then again, they still haven't patched that game, so they've really dropped the ball and they don't care. And then Rebellion for Sniper Elite 4. Like, I could not, in good conscience, vote for any of these companies because I don't understand the premise of giving a Studio of the Year, and none of these studios did anything so great that it deserves anything. It deserves an award. Like, do we give it to Ninja Theory because they didn't put DLC and microtransactions in Hellblade and they didn't charge $60? Is that really the only message you could send with something like that? Like, so I guess you could do that. You could eliminate PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds from contention because it's a game that's eventually at least going to have microtransactions in it. Next category is Best VR Game, and your options are going to be a bunch of games you've never heard of. Dead Effect 2 VR, Farpoint, GNOG, which, okay, I didn't know that was a VR game. If Abduction isn't one of the options in this, then this game, this awards show's gonna have very little legitimacy in my mind. Resident Evil 7, Res Infinite. Alright, I could argue maybe Res Infinite does work very well on VR. Robo Recall, Super Hot VR. Alright. Star Trek Bridge Crew. Okay, I believe in that one too. There's one called Static, STATIK, Thumper, and then Wilson's Heart, which was a horror game that, but no Abduction. And Abduction absolutely was probably the best contender for best VR game, honestly, because it's a real game that goes the real length of a game. But at least I will say they didn't involve any crazy silly VR games. No Rick and Morty, none of the KFC VR game that we saw stories about. Next we have is Esports Play of the Year. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip this because again, I don't follow esports, and I don't think, like, I could mention them, but I would have nothing to say about them. Like Tokido's incredible parry at EVO 2017. Sure, I'm sure that makes sense and is a really amazing esport action if you see it, and there are videos here to watch it, but I have no interest in even mentioning that. And then next we have esports team of the year. Is it going to be the next 9 things are esports teams? Esports related? Yes, it is. And then the next category, skipping over esports team of the year to esports game of the year. At least I can comment on that. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, FIFA 17, League of Legends, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Smite, StarCraft 2. And I am pretty sure the award should go to Overwatch because half of these games did not come out this year and thus are disqualified because of that. You can't give a Game of the Year award to something that's didn't come out this year. Otherwise, you're just always going to give it to Dota for the people that love Dota, and League of Legends for the people that live League of Legends. 12, we have Best Streamer Broadcaster. We have Hannah Rutherford, the Yogscast, Jacksepticeye, Jupiter Hadley, Markiplier, Maximilian Dude, Polygon. I think it's completely unfair to include all of Polygon as a big corporation channel as the best streamer broadcaster. Like when you compare that to somebody like Jacksepticeye, who if he's got people behind him working for him, that's fine, but at the very least he's putting his face on his videos. Waypoint, what's good games? I'm noticing a distinct missing of PewDiePie here. I guess PewDiePie would win regardless. Moving on. Handheld mobile game of the year, Dragon Quest VIII, Ever Oasis, Fire Emblem Heroes, Frame 2, Hidden Folks, Milkmaid of the Milky Way, Monument Valley 2, Old Man's Journey, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Super Mario Run. And the clear winner there is going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon. I was just looking at a list of Game Boy Color games that Nintendo made, and it is kind of shocking how few Mario, Zelda, Wario, Super Mario Land games came out, because they were so invested in Pokemon at that point that Nintendo was really just releasing Pokemon games and nothing else. And it never really occurred to me that they took a little bit of a break there. Oops. History. I think I clicked the wrong button. Let's see, go back. Yep, moving on. Nintendo Game of the Year. I don't think it's fair to have a Nintendo Game of the Year particularly, but ARMS, Bold Boy, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Again, a Ubisoft game, not a Nintendo game. Mario Kart 8, Metroid Samus Returns, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Snipperclips, Splatoon, Super Mario Odyssey, and the one that shouldn't be considered, and Legend of Zelda. And I guess Legend of Zelda probably would deserve to win that. PlayStation Game of the Year, Everybody's Golf, Horizon Zero Dawn, Nex Machina. I think Horizon Zero Dawn probably deserves to win in this because it was a PlayStation exclusive. Nier Automata, Neo, Persona 5, Static, Last Guardian, Uncharted, Yakuza 0. Yeah, I think Horizon Zero Dawn or Nier Automata are your choices there. Xbox Game of the Year, Cuphead, Dead Rising 4, Forza Motorsport 7, ha ha ha, that's a joke. Gears of War 4, gigantic. Halo Wars 2, Pit People, Slime Rancher, like Tacoma. Wow, Xbox has not got a lot to choose from here. This is. Did they not have any kind of exclusives at all? Or I guess maybe Microsoft didn't. And then PC Game of the Year. Dream Daddy, Endless Space 2, One Shot, Planet Coaster, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I think Battlegrounds will win it. Rising Storm 2, Stories Untold, Total War Warhammer, Warhammer 2, then Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War 3. So they have 2 different Warhammer games. West of Loathing. Man, there's some games that are missing here. Why is Nier Automata not listed? It clearly should be one of the options at the very least for PC Game of the Year. And then Breakthrough Award. The Breakthrough Award celebrates creators whose talents have turned heads and studios' stories have impressed us in the last year. So basically this is a award just for people who we want to give awards to. So you could give it to Ashley Birch of Horizon Zero Dawn, or Brandon Green, who is in PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or Cavalier Game Studios, or Game Grumps, or Giant Sparrow, or Infinite Fall, who made Night in the Woods, which they keep pushing that, or another person who worked on Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, or the Slime Rancher creator, or SMAC Games. Like, how can you even make a choice here? Like, by what metrics are you measuring this? It's just who do you want to list and give more games to give another award to? And this award, golden joysticks need to be fixed a little bit, but who cares about awards anyways? Like, they're all rigged. They're all just pandering to the egos of the creators. They're all pointless and dumb. Most Wanted game, yet another pointless award. Beyond Good and Evil 2, not gonna happen, sure. Call of Duty World War II, it might happen at some point, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Death Stranding, something by that name will eventually come out, but it'll probably take forever. Far Cry 5 will almost certainly come out eventually. God of War will, it's going to get knocked back, but it will come out. Metro Exodus will come out. Metroid Prime 4. We don't really know anything about Metroid Prime 4 right now. At least I don't, so I could be real hyped for that game in the future, but right now I'm not. The Ooblets, nobody cares about that. Red Dead Redemption 2, that game is coming out and people are a little excited about it. Sea of Thieves, nobody cares about that. Spider-Man, nobody cares about that. Star Wars Battlefront 2, that game is clearly coming out. It's in beta now, so I don't know how really hyped people are. And then The Last of Us Part 2, and I guess The Last of Us Part 2 might be the most expected or most wanted of your choices. Next award is the Still Playing Award. We're almost done here. Diablo 3, EVE Online, FIFA 17, Final Fantasy 14, Hearthstone. I guess I should vote for Hearthstone because I'm still playing that. Minecraft. I feel like a lot of people are starting to really slow down on Minecraft. People will always go back to it, but I don't think it's as big as it was. Overwatch, lots of people are still playing Overwatch. Pokemon Go, lots of people are still playing Pokemon Go. It's real easy to play a cell phone game. Pokemon Go is a little difficult because it requires walking, but if you got it on your cell phone, if it prompts you to keep playing, you probably won't uninstall it. It's hard to rage quit a cell phone game. Pro Evolution Soccer is probably pretty popular outside of the United States. Rocket League, I don't think very many people are still playing that. Elder Scrolls Online, people that are playing that are probably still playing it. And World of Tanks. And then 21 Ultimate Game of the Year. Assassin's Creed Origins, we haven't seen it, so couldn't vote on that. Destiny 2, no, I wouldn't give it to that. Dishonored 2, no. Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe. Monument Valley 2, no. Persona 5, no. People were really big into Persona 5 when it first came out, but there's been no real important news or love for that game since. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, yeah, I probably would get the Ultimate Game of the Year. Unless Super Mario Odyssey beats it. Resident Evil 7, no. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I could see that maybe beating it. What Remains of Edith Finch is not going to be big enough to win that. And that was, so 21 questions, and then at the end you have to submit your votes if you were going to really vote. So that was on Games Radar, and you know, whatever. If that's what you want to do and vote for it, I feel like for the Golden Joystick Awards, half of those things, half of the categories were invalid categories, and there's no clear direction or line for what the category even is meant to do it. And there's clearly some major things left out, and clearly some things that were put in just because somebody knew somebody, or somebody got nominated when they really shouldn't have been. In this award section, there was no fill in your answer at the bottom. And that really goes to show that there's already been a major elimination of many games. For example, Abduction should have been the best VR game this year. Yeah, I'm looking at an article as we're trying to wrap up this game that's going on forever, as he's playing Jade Druid. Whether loot boxes are gambling, the answer is yes. Clearly it is. And regardless of what the ESRP is, it's gambling. You're paying for something, you're getting something that you value, and you don't know exactly what the value of the thing you're getting is. So, regardless if it has no resale value, regardless if it can dance around in several different ways, loot boxes are gambling, and anybody just on the face of it, and in at least US law, there is precedent to say on the face of things can be interpreted instead of following the letter of the law exactly. That's what prima facie, I believe, means. But I could be wrong. Darian hops into the chat and says, yo, hello, Darian. I really wouldn't mind a crackdown. I mean, you really don't want to hurt the video game industry, but the video industry right now is strong and good, and they're going too far with the loot boxes. If there was government crackdown on them, saying no more loot boxes ever, that would be great. Let's see, there's a demo out for a game called Under Hero, a 2D RPG starring a villain turned hero. Let's see. Kind of looks like it's trying to be a ripoff of Undertale. It's not animated very well. Let's see. And we don't have a release date. The demo is on itch.io, so this is one of those PC Gamer articles that is just written for no real reason. Darren asks, how's my day? We're trying some crazy things. We did a stream earlier of Hearthstone, and then a stream of just music to see if that gets me in trouble with Content ID, and see if anybody really wanted to do something like that. Hey, this is the first time I've ever seen a 30-30.
is too full.
And now we're back to streaming, and we still have a lot of news to talk about, and a lot of things to do on Hearthstone. I think we're probably going to reintroduce the silent play too, because when I have anything to do left, I'm still playing Hearthstone at that point. So silent play at the end, when I run out of news, when I run out of the things to talk about, when nobody's on the chat, I think at that point silent play is happening. If people don't like it, too bad, but nobody's gonna bring me back to talk. That was never supposed to be an option. We're not to that point yet. We still probably have at least another 45 minutes, if not another hour and a half. I do need to wrap up this stream, but I'm stuck letting this guy show off his Jade Idol tricks. I'm going to run out of cards in 7 turns.
Locked and loaded. My hand is too full.
Fortnite's free-to-play Battle Royale mode has passed 10 million players. So I think PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds really does have reason to be scared when Fortnite can come in there and gain that much ground. But it seems like a lot of people are also playing both games. Let's see. Finally, that game's over. Darian asks, "Will you play on North America so we can play with you?" Sure, we'll do that. We'll switch over. As far as this one, we just need to get 2 victories and play 1 more minion. So, but I need to get everything done on Fridays, so there's still a lot of work to do. That's going to be it for this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.